Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Um, it's a beautiful day coming out here in the Coots. It's pretty cold. It's the coldest day we've had so far. Lots of frost on the windshields, 0 degrees. So it's a clear sign that winter is well on its way. As you might notice in the background, Saddle Mountain has a layer of snow on it. It's coming down fairly far, but the whole peak is covered in white. But anyway, yesterday I did a little bit of work on the 922. I put a block heater, an inline block heater onto this engine and left it plugged in overnight. I'll show you the early, like yesterday's temperature measurements, and then now we're just going to go ahead and see what we got available this morning after it was plugged in for, well, just over 12 hours. This being like 8 o'clock in the morning. Right now I got on that heater, if you can see the little red dot there shaking all over the place, 6.6 Celsius. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, 6.6, whatever. So we're going to plug it in and see what we get. Well, right away we got 7.5, almost 8. I guess it should throw up to 8 degrees here right away. Yeah, there it is. So it won't take long, and then we'll see what it's going to be like overnight. I'll just take a temperature on the block heater itself, and right there it's showing. Well, it's kind of moving around there. Well, it's got 30, 27, 29, 30. So that's what we got down there in the block heater, which is a pretty good measure. Now I'll just try to hit that entry to the block, and it's showing, well, up to, oh, look at that, 35 or something, 36. So that's pretty good. Off to the side. Well, that is actually the intake manifold right there, so we'll have to go down below and see what the block is saying. Now, if we can hit the block, it's quite a bit lower there, but it's 17, 18, 14, 16 there. Let's see what we got on the lower radiator pipe. $17. So it's warmed it up quite a bit. It's that's more than warm enough to fire up this diesel if it's so inclined. So that's some pretty good results on our block heat. That little block heater is going to warm it up pretty adequately. You know, 15 to anywhere between 15 to 20 degrees should be warm enough to fire off. That's just like starting up on a really warm summer day. So that's going to, I believe, solve my cold start issues. So I'm going to go ahead. I looked on the internet, and I already set these both intake and exhaust at 10 thousandths, which is quite a bit too thin. According to the internet, it's 14 for intake, 18 for exhaust, so I'm going to go ahead and readjust those tappets. Then we'll give her another shot. Okay, I'm going to just delve into this glow plug situation here. I think I'm going to take this harness right off and just bring it up to the shop and test it out. While that heater's working nice, I can feel the warmth coming off the tappet covers. That's great. Okay. Just noticing here, none of these glow plugs are actually clocked in the same position, so they are attached to the injectors or the fuel nozzles, whatever Cat wants to call them today. But they're just in that actual housing, and they're just random, from what I can see. So I'm going to take the other two bolts off the cover here because I got to get into it for looking into the tappet clearance. Clearance. That might be a good name for my Halloween skeleton. Clarence. I like it. Okay, I'm going to turn it around. So these two are somewhere in the middle between top dead center and going down on the, between the compression stroke and the power stroke, somewhere in the middle. I think the intake is closed now. See, that's pretty tight. I'm going to go get a screwdriver. This intake, well, I'm going to set to 14, probably round it off to 15 because I think that's what my gauge is. And this is 18. Anyway, we'll start with that. Okay, they all took a little bit of adjustment. This being the worst, I think I turned this back a quarter turn on each one of these. And that is a lot on a tappet adjustment. So I'm just going to put the cover back on. I'm not going to bolt it, but I'll just put the cover on. And then we'll get our batteries lined up and see what happens. I want to first off, I want to just see if I can extract these glow plugs. Well, that's the right size. Lucky gas. Seems to be turning. So there's the glow plug. Doesn't look in bad shape. It's clean and, well, carboned up on the tip. It's carboned up on the tip, but it's pretty clean. It's not corroded and rusted up like I was expecting. But so now, I should be able to get a reading on it. Okay, I'm on the tailgate of the truck here. I got a 12 volt battery, so we're just using 12 volts. And I put the power wire onto the positive post, and I just touch this onto ground. I don't see any spark or anything, but I'm going to let it sit there for 10 or 15 seconds. Oh, and you can see smoke coming off of there. So the harness is working to this point anyway. Now I don't want to touch the darn thing because it's like super hot. this one, the one glow plug is broke off in here, so I need one for sure. But that, well, this one here is actually working. So we'll just connect it again and see if we can see some smoke. Yeah, there's smoke coming off that. Now we'll try the very last one. Okay. I'm not going to pull out the broken one, but I'll pull out the other two and make sure they're heating up. I know this one is good and this whole harness is good. All right. Okay, I was down here earlier and I checked out the temperature of the block. It's actually warm to the touch, and the valve cover is warm. So we got a little bit of advantage there. Plus, I went through the tappets gain and the all needed adjusting. So hopefully that's going to make a big difference. And so I'm just going to, and already charged up the fuel system again. I'm not going to run it all the time. As long as it's got pressure showing on the gauge, all we need to do is to get things to smoke and fire up and hopefully not run away. So I'm just going to spin it over first and then get some oil pressure. Seem to have water coming out of the radiator here now. Maybe it just had a big bubble or something. Well, it hasn't leaked down at all. It's right up to the top of that's where I left it yesterday. So it's still up at the top. I just won't tighten that right up. I'll give her another spin and then I'll give her a squirt. Well, she's working better. Well, still no go. Well, we gave it another honest try there today. I got the tapestry set. It is rolling around and seems to be smoking better, but I can still hear them valves leaking. So I think, and I got blow by going through. So there's obviously we need some new rings on the rest of these pistons. But anyway, I'm just going to probably just pull the head off and do all them valves up, put the head back on, and try our game. So yeah. Let's go do that. Jesus. Just never mind. Maybe we'll just change directions and whatever Milt wants to do there, he can work at this 922. But let's just go ahead and do something different, have a little bit of fun. Well, just to get away from that 922 disaster there, it looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of work that I've already done. So anyway, we're going to get away from that and go do something that's a little bit more entertaining. So I'm going to show you what I've got done so far. There's those two dogs. They're always play fighting. One of these days Luna's going to lose her temper. But anyway, down here below here beside the the truckload of old engines that I don't know what I'm going to do with, except for just to have them on display, I guess. But I had to start up the 06 and get this ground leveled off again right beside that, so I can back that trailer in and maybe offload that one engine off onto the bank up here, just dragging it with the 6. So that's what I was up to. I started that up and did this work, but when I was doing that, I discovered something about the 6. After I was done with the landscaping down below, I just parked the 06 up here halfway up to the shop, and what I've discovered is the steering clutches work, the left brake works, but the right brake, it goes right to the floorboards, and it does not cause a turn in the cat. So I'm going to have to, at a later time, I'll bring it up to the yard and have to tilt this ROPS over, remove that fuel tank, and get in there and check out, I don't know if you can see it. Initially there's a cover right there to take off, just inspect the brakes, but I might have to open it right up and replace brake bands or something or other. Not sure. So after I was done with that landscaping project there, it didn't take long, just a few minutes, but I did move up a few other projects that I'm going to work at over the winter, but they're just small things. And one thing is for sure, you can collect all these things, and if you don't do a maintenance schedule or some sort of continuous maintenance, you know, check this out, check that out, repair this, do this, you know, improve that. If you don't do all that stuff, they just revert back to the state that you found them in, which is ran when parked. And with that, I'm going to go head on back over here to the 922. It's been a few days since I did that landscaping with the cat, etc., and moving projects. But as you can see up above me there, this is the nicest day I've had for 2 or 3. It's been just pouring on me. So got to take advantage of the weather when you can. So I'll get back on the 922B. Well, a few minutes later, after I got done playing, well, actually quite a few days later after it stopped raining, I lifted his head off this afternoon, and the evidence of anything firing in here is number 4 firing the most, and number 1 has been firing. 2 and 3, I have just got a bunch of carbonous material, and I know that was all cleaned off when I put the head on, but anyway, we're gonna clean her all up and go over those valves, put her back down, and try to run it again. What are you girls doing up there? Where's the old girl? Luna! Going up there, at least you gotta take your own beer. Now let's see if we can tap these valves and see if they'll move in. Well, they all seem to be seated. And they're all free. They're not sticking. So anyway, I'm going to pull all the valves out. Well, yeah, we'll pull all the valves out and give them a good checking out. I've just started pulling out these valves. If you can see, this one has some shiny areas on the seat plus some dark marks in it, so that is in really bad shape, that one. I haven't really cleaned these off. I'm just noticing as I go. And I just thought to mention, I don't have any micrometers or fancy measuring tools, anything along that line there, but the way I decide whether the not the seats, but the valve, what I do to check to see the tolerances on the valve guides is I just hold my thumb or a finger over the end of the valve guide and pull the stem out. You hear that suction noise? I figure it's good enough to run. Okay, last one. That's my antique, very vintage valve guide tool. Not valve guide tool, valve spring, valve keeper. I don't know if you heard that, but that's another good one. So there's all the valves out, and oh, great big hunk of carbon out of the chamber. So I'm gonna clean up all these tools here and run it over to the other side where I got the hot water with the wash gun, and we'll start with that. Got a good start on cleaning up this head. Got all these valve seats all cleaned right up, polished up with the just a little wire wheel. They look pretty pristine. I don't know if they're original. I kind of doubt it. But yeah, got all the ports cleaned out. So now we just got to get after those valves. There's a good afternoon's work right there. Got all them valves removed, all cleaned up. I did use a little grinding compound or valve compound. Valve lapping compound is actually what it is. Not really grinding the valves, but I lapped them just to make sure they're in contact with the valve seats. And I think they're all going to be pretty darn good. What I've done since I put them in their places with the keepers and everything, springs and keepers. I don't know if you can see down there. Where are we going here? There's some fluid in each one of these exhaust ports. And so far, I don't have any leaking out the valve, so that's just my sort of a test initially. I'll have to turn the head over the other way around to put fluid into the intake manifold because of the way this head is formed. Boo Boo, she's found something. Good way to test your valves and seats to see if you've got good seal all the way around is just I pour a little fluid into the ports there, and diesel fuel actually, and I don't have any oil seeping out the valves themselves, so I'm going to call that a win. Let's go on to the next thing. Okay, it's a little while later in the afternoon, but I believe we got everything all back together. I got the valves reset, the tappets reset, cover on, the glow plugs installed and all connected up except for that one that's broken. And I already went ahead and I primed up the fuel with the electric pump and bled it off to the injectors. So, and the water's full. And the block heater's been plugged in for 3 hours anyway, couple hours for sure. So I think we're ready to go here. I lost, or I misplaced my little bungee I had for the throttle there, but we'll try her without. And I left the air breather neck off so I could like throw a little ether down in there easier. instead of going to the other side and going through the canister. So let's try it out. Well, it's better. Well, there seems to be a lot of air. I don't know if I'm sucking air or getting rid of it slowly. I don't know. And I keep losing that wrench. Okay, I went over all my Mickey Mouse hoses here. I'm still waiting out of Gilbert's Auto Supply there filter for the suction filter here. Like, I just need the element. Can't get the right part, so there's no suction on the lines. I haven't gone around and made better looking lines, so there's more positive seals. But I just got all these hoses and clamps and stuff, so I think I got a little bit better idea on it now. Maybe she'll start now. Or maybe not. You can see that bottom left gauge there is the needle is halfway up on the green, so we got good oil pressure, fuel pressure. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up the end. This is the end of this here part of the video. We got her fired up. It's been running, but I seem to have developed a problem in the fuel system. I could be even maybe sucking air out of the tank, maybe out of fuel, so I've got to get some fuel in the tank. That's the first thing. Go through all these hoses again, make sure they're all tight, get some air back up solid. I keep getting air in the injector pump, and so it'll not run. These cats are pretty finicky that way. They can't handle a little bit of air at all. So anyway, I'm going to call it a success. We have had it running, and I think we're going to be all right. We'll give her another shot there tomorrow and go further on the next episode, try to get the hydraulics working and see if we can go back and forth, get some air in the tires. So if you like these videos, like, subscribe, and comment. Give me some ideas, help me out here on what I can do here to get this thing running. Come on, say persist.